Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
Hey everybody, welcome into the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 170. I'm your host X-Pat along with my co-hosts Burley of Burleybin Gaming and Leah the Hatless. Hopefully Turn-Based Carl will be able to join us later on during the episode. So how are you guys doing this week? Burley, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, but we've had it's been a real interesting of weather. You'll have days where it goes like 22 degrees outside and then go down to 6 and rainy. So it's been like you're in shorts one day and then you're like, okay, now I got to get back to pants and regular. It's like never been consistent.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Leah, do you have that same feeling once in a while? Yeah.
No, definitely not this week. This week has been a full summer where it feels like we're in the middle of the desert, hot, really burning, scalding hot.
Really? Wow.
Almost like you need to be careful and drink lots of water to prevent like the heat stroke or something. It's been intense. Perfect weather for the beach, you know. If you want to get a sweet tan, you're good to go.
Nice.
What about in Japan? Are you still on cherry blossom season?
Yeah, actually, I went yesterday. My wife and we took the light rail transit, and we went out to the countryside area a little bit, and where they have lots of cherry blossom trees, and
Oh, that's nice.
and we went to the park there and had some. We went to the food booths and bought some food and sat down next to the cherry blossoms, and the cherry blossom petals are all coming off the trees now. And so, yeah, the whole ground is like just completely, just full of cherry blossom petals. But yeah, very pretty right now. This is the peak time where I am here in Japan, north of Tokyo. It's the peak. Yes, of the cherry blossom season. So, and then of course, it goes farther up. So probably Hokkaido, probably in May, is the peak there. So yeah, so really good stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, nice stuff. Yeah. So Burley, have you got a chance to start watching Tokyo Vice yet?
No, it's actually not on Netflix here in Canada.
Wow, really?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Literally, when you and I were talking after we were doing the X-Men, I was like, okay, let's go to Netflix, log in. I'm like, all right, Tokyo Vice. What? Not here in Canada. Oh, humanity. I'm looking to, there is another way for me to watch it. I got to go through some other subscription-based thing here in Canada. I just haven't set that up because the Fallout show has come out and I've watched half of it so far.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I want to thank everybody that comes in and watches this in video on demand. Of course, here live as well. You can follow us over on Twitter X. So the link is below there. And of course, the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast is, of course, recorded here live, which we are doing now, 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Saturdays. So, yes, just a little bit of background on Tokyo Vice. For those of you that might not know, there's an investigative reporter named Jake Edelstein, who came to Japan in I think the late '80s and went to university out here, and he became the first foreign journalist to work at the Yomiuri Shimbun, the Yomiuri newspaper, and he was on the crime beat, and he basically got really, really involved in the Yakuza movement here in Japan. And so Tokyo Vice is basically based on his book about the Yakuza and the dealings here within Japan, based on his book Tokyo Vice. It's very, very good. It's 2 seasons so far. Watanabe Ken, he plays the detective that works alongside Jake Edelstein when it comes to the cases and everything. So, and you get to really see what Japan was like in the mid 1990s, and it's really interesting because that's when I first came to Japan here, was in the mid 1990s. So yeah, I really highly recommend that series. It's called Tokyo Vice. Yeah, so if you're a fan of the Yakuza video games, please watch it. You'll learn a lot about Japan and about Japanese culture, and a lot about the Yakuza as well, the real life Yakuza. So yeah, it's good stuff.
So this isn't based on Kiryu or Ichiban?
No, it is not.
Oh.
No, it is not. It's even more intense, Burley. Believe me.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's really,
Yeah,
really.
I believe me.
Yes. Yeah, because they're based on true stories. So yeah, it's really, really good. So I highly recommend it. But anyway, in this episode of the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, episode 170, we're going to be talking about the weekly gaming news in the world of video games and game development. Of course, we're going to be talking about Microsoft a little bit and their hardware future. We're going to be talking about Star Wars Outlaws. We're going to be talking about Palworld, Burley. Some more news with Palworld, Final Fantasy VII, and the third part. There's some news there. And then our topic of the show is going to be our review of the first quarter of this year. So we're gonna have a discussion about that, and we hope that all of you that are viewing will be a part of the discussion as well. So yeah, so let's go ahead and jump in to the first story here. And Leah, I'm going to let you start off with this. So basically, actually, before we get into the weekly news beat, let's get into what we've been playing this week. So yeah, I want to do that first. So the games that you and Burley have been playing, obviously, I'm at the moment looking for a new job, so I haven't had a chance to play any games this week. So I'm still putting up videos for the YouTube channel here, the Arena Productions. So I've been busy with that, and I'll be talking about that later in the show. So, yeah, Burley and Leah, what have you been playing this past week?
You can go first, Burley, because I've also been a terrible player because I haven't played anything this week. I been swamped. I get home and I sleep, and that's it. That's my life. It's like hermit, like homework, work, home, and that's it.
It's okay. Fine, I guess I'll have to carry us in this department.
Yes, please.
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Burley. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Appreciate your efforts.
In this one department. Yes. Go for it.
I've been streaming, and I streamed and finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I really did enjoy the game. I had a lot of fun. It is a long adventure. If you're just doing story stuff, mostly story, you're 40 plus hours just to finish the game. Yeah, I'm kind of glad Fubu did the extra take on this instead of me, because I upon finishing the game, even though I enjoyed it, I don't see that this is a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 game. I still say it's highly, like, if I had to get, if you made me put a score down, I would give it an 8. The new combat stuff is good. Some of the added scenes that they added trying to flesh out the story of the original in certain sections are great, but it has some sections where it just drops, and then I'm really pushing way too many mini games, even just for the plot to just go. And it's like, okay, enough. I'm tired of these mini games. I want to see the story. Enough of these mini games.
Yeah.
And it's just some of the stuff that they're changing with the story and that they're adding in that they set up in Remake and then put this in Rebirth. It's like, I kind of don't like that. I kind of would have rather done a more faithful adaptation where you could have changed some stuff. Like, you're going to have to change stuff, but keep it mostly the same, add and enhance to some of the stories. And from where this game ends off, spoilers, if you've played the original 7, it's at the end of the first disc. So it's like, I kind of don't think 2 of these games should have been the end of disc 1. Like, this doesn't need to be a trilogy. This should have been 2 games. I could understand the end of disc 1 for one game, and then the second game doing all of disc 2. Disc 3 is literally a cutscene, and then the final dungeon. So,
let us know in the comments what you thought of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Have you played it? Do you agree with what Burley's saying about this? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would love to hear from people, but that's not all I've been playing. I've put a little time into Dragon's Dogma 2, but I also, because of the Fallout TV show, I started up Fallout 4. I never had finished the game. So I had only got a couple hours in, so I've been going back on that, and I've been having fun going through the wasteland.
Yeah.
With watching the show, it does make you, if you've been watching the show, it will make you, if you have the games, want to sit down and play them.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later in the show during the, of course, the programming notes and all, because we're doing Fallout coverage here on the Arena Productions as well, so we will talk about that. All right, so those are the games that we have been playing. So now, let's go ahead and jump into the weekly news beat. So, our first story, Leah, go ahead and jump into Microsoft. So, Microsoft, they're really moving forward with backwards compatibility, and it seems like they're moving full steam ahead when it comes to hardware. So what's going on there?
Yes, so apparently, as rumors run rife about the PS5 Pro and its apparent launch this year, Microsoft is moving full speed ahead on its next generation hardware. Windows Central obtained an internal email from Xbox President Sarah Bond stating the same, which Microsoft verified to be genuine. The same email also announced the formation of a team for game preservation. We are moving full speed ahead on our next generation hardware, focused on delivering the biggest technological leap ever in a generation, she said. This echoes comments from February when Microsoft unveiled its multi-platform strategy from selected first-party titles. While Bond has previously stated that the company is invested in next-generation roadmap, she also promised some exciting stuff coming out in hardware we're going to share this holiday. And there's a lot of rumors. It could be an all-digital Xbox Series X that could be coming, but Microsoft will rumoredly host its annual Xbox showcase on June 9th. So
I'm sorry, I had to put this image here. For all of you Xbox fans out there, I mean, you guys can remember the horror stories of like after the 360 when Xbox One came out and that Kinect. I just had to throw that in there. Because I mean, that was one of the things that primarily killed the Xbox One generation at the beginning. I mean, I love all of you Xbox fans out there. But I just had to throw this image in here. And then, of course,
I will just add at the end, just there could be rumors of a hybrid cloud console as well, but nothing is set in stone. And maybe most likely on June we'll have information.
Yeah, well, most likely that hybrid, cloud console is probably going to be what you see in the middle here, the Brooklyn. And that was what was those internal documents that were leaked during the time, I think it was last year when Microsoft was still trying to buy Activision Blizzard. So yeah, I mean, I just biggest technological leap ever. Sarah Bond, I mean, she's really intelligent, and I'm sure she's a great corporate individual here. But I mean, to put your expectations and throw them so high like this, it could be bound for failure, because especially out here in Japan, because hardware sales for Microsoft products here in Japan are, they're pretty poor. So, and more now, when it comes to the video game industry, more and more when it comes to cloud gaming technology is getting better, and less people are going to buy physical hardware to play games. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't see, even if it is a great technological leap, I just don't see this being successful. I mean, especially when it comes to the competition with PlayStation and the Switch, that still has the majority of gamers in their pockets when it comes to buying hardware. Burley, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, the biggest technological leap ever, that's just marketing speak. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They have all that. They say that, like, they all do it. Sony's done it. Nintendo hasn't done it for a long time because it's Nintendo, but
they haven't had to.
Yeah, that I'm not worried about them saying, like, that people are putting too much into, like, the all digital and the Brooklyn, like, we've known about this stuff, like, because of the Activision Blizzard leaks. So yeah, I'm still curious to see if they'll put out the Keystone, because I think that would be a smart move on their part. Just if you can get it for, like, I don't know, $60 to $80, and people just have, like, basically like a Fire Stick or a Roku to plug in, and here you go, you can Game Pass, game stream, and stuff like that. That will, like, you could just imagine, like, hotel chains would pick that up, because just to have that kind of advantage to say, hey, here you go, you can play games in your hotel room.
When it comes to hardware in general, though, with PlayStation, I'm really, really interested to see how well the Pro does when the Pro comes out. And because I'm sure the PS5 Pro is going to come out this year, probably in the fall. And I'm really, really excited to see the sales numbers, because I don't think they're going to be that great. So I just... and then of course the digital version of the X, which will probably be coming out maybe in the summer because of Microsoft's event for in June. So I don't know, man. I think hardware sales are just going to continually go on the decline, except for Switch. The Switch is the only thing that is going to stay stable, and probably even beat expectations, especially when the Switch 2 comes out.
Well, I hardware sales are going to go down for everything because of just how the world economy is right now and everything, and how expensive things are. Like the PS5 Pro, I agree, is probably not going to sell well. Like, I have no desire. I didn't pick up the PS4 Pro. I'm not going to spend, because I know it's going to be like $700-800 over here for me.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be doing that and be like, what? Trade in my base PS5 to get like 200 off or whatever, 300 off. It's like, yeah, no, thanks. Microsoft, I'm curious to see, because they saw the Portal did well for Sony so far. See if they do something like that. Just, it doesn't need to have storage. Just have a device that I can quickly pick up and do Game Pass Cloud.
Yeah.
Or cloud stream my games. Because Microsoft has been doing well with that benefit. So if you can make a little cheap handheld for $199 US and get that, where I can do that and have a library of games and just play them on the go,
Yeah.
I think would do very well and really help get more people into their ecosystem.
Yeah. I just think cloud gaming is the future. Go ahead, Leah.
No, I was gonna say that because they do say in the news that it's gonna be a bit cheaper than the original model. So maybe that's the strategy, to be kind of a Nintendo Switch Lite instead of like a Portal, which is more advanced. So like something more on the go. Because cloud doesn't really need. You just need like a really good internet connection.
Yeah.
You don't really need to kind of insert games or discs or anything like that. So
Yeah.
almost like a good cell phone. So who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe there's hope for this hybrid console. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean the digital editions. I mean, I think they're going to start selling more, than the optical versions. I don't know. We'll just see. I mean, myself personally, uh, I've gone digital now for the last few years.
Hello.
So, hey, Carl.
We talk Xbox and we summon Carl back into the
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah. So actually, since you've joined us, Carl, your thoughts on our conversation here that we're having about the Xbox when it comes to hardware, and what Sarah Bond has been talking about, this being the greatest technological leap ever for the next generation of hardware. And of course, she talked about game preservation. They're putting a team together to continue that. So go ahead, throw your thoughts into the mix here.
Yeah, it's a cool announcement. It's hard to say exactly what it really means. I think of game preservation, I think of like physical releases. I know that's not all of it, of course, but like I want that to be included. It's like selfishly, I'm like, well, you're gonna do more physical releases, right? Like, Hellblade 2, like, where's the physical release on that? But
Yeah.
But obviously digital is important because we know the majority of people are buying digital, so you do need to find ways to make sure you can preserve digital libraries going forward, and that's what a lot of people worry about with some platforms like Switch, for example. Like I think it'd be insane if they don't do backwards compatibility, but there's people who are like, what if they didn't? It's a slight thought out there that they might do something crazy like that. So at least we know Xbox will do whatever they can, and that I think that plays into the hardware talk, because maybe they're going to do something pretty different next generation. And there's been talk about using ARM processors for Xbox, which would require work to make the old games accessible on there, and that would, a team for game preservation would make sense to be involved in, like, all right, making sure that original Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series games work on whatever new hardware they're going to change to, right? Because part of the reason why you aren't seeing any significant changes is because if you do, you're going to break that, right? This is why, like, PS3, while it originally did have backwards compatibility, that was because they had additional hardware in the system specifically to run PS1 and PS2 games, which they later took out because to save money.
Yeah.
So you're gonna we'll see what they do. Hardware, I feel like it's not necessarily gonna be just power, right? I think they're gonna be doing something kind of different. Whether it's like AI stuff, which I'm like, I don't care. I'm just not interested. At least you haven't sold me on what that vision would do for video games. So maybe it was just something I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But I think the ARM thing is interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm still interested to see whether or not Xbox would jump into the handheld mix and have some type of a hybrid handheld device, which could be used with cloud gaming as well. So we'll see about that.
Yeah. Well, to do native gaming handheld, I think ARM plays a place in that because
it
is lower power, right, draw on those processors. This is why mobile phones use that type of processor. So if you could make an Xbox that runs with that can play all of the games through some sort of emulation or whatever, right, then that might be how it happens for handheld.
Right. All right, guys. So we also got news this week about Star Wars Outlaws. So which is really interesting because everything just leaks nowadays. I mean, before we get any kind of presentations, they announce these presentations like Ubisoft Forward. It's coming in June, so everybody gets excited for it. And then like 3 days after they announce it, they just leak everything. It's just like, why even have the presentations anymore when everything's going to be leaked in the first place? We don't have the news about Assassin's Creed Red, but we got the leaked information about Outlaws, and then Ubisoft just came out and said, okay, yeah, we approve this message, basically. Anyway, go ahead, Leah.
Sorry, Expat. I was gonna say that Nintendo has the upper hand in this because they're like, oh, there's a direct in 2 days. They never announce it so early on, so people are like, where is the next coming? So
yeah,
but yeah, sad it got leaked, I guess.
Yeah, so we did get the story trailer for Star Wars Outlaws, and it looks like we're going to be taking a look at a lot of the crime syndicates. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of this for you guys. So and it's based in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So we got this information, and of course we get Crimson Dawn is actually in this as well. So pretty interesting. And we also got news about the editions that are going to be available. So the gold edition, we have the regular standard edition, $69.99. And of course, you can get the Kessel Runner bonus pack if you pre-order. The gold edition costs $109.99 and features the game, season pass, and 3 days of early access. And the ultimate edition at $129.99 includes the same content while throwing in a digital art book. So I'm interested in this story and to see where this goes, and the main character here. And is that Han Solo or not? Because basically Han Solo is probably still in carbonite in Jabba the Hutt's palace at this point. So I don't know if that was actually him or just another.
I believe they have confirmed that it was Han Solo.
Okay, great. Okay, so then he must be transferred later on to Jabba's palace. So, but we see the main character here. We got the Pikes, we got the Crimson Dawn, we got the Hutts. So what did you guys think of this trailer? And what are your guys' thoughts on the pricing for these editions? So Burley, I'll start with you because you're out in Canada. It's probably going to be more expensive for you.
Oh, I can guarantee it's more expensive. Yeah, because like the base game over here is $101.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no. Game prices suck in Canada.
How much is Ubisoft Plus Premium?
But that's the thing. Like I can pay $20 for the month and get the Ultimate Edition.
Seems like the better value for you.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's the better value for like anyone that's wanting. If you're wanting the Ultimate or Gold Edition to get all this stuff, just buy Ubisoft Plus. Pay for 1 month. You'll beat the game in a month. Even if you don't, you do 2 months, and you'll still save a bunch of money. I do not like the pricing on all of these. I think they went nuts on this, and they've been getting a lot of feedback on social media. Like people were happy with what they saw in the trailer and all that, but being like, "Oh, you have to have 3 different editions." Ubisoft can just not help themselves on this. And that the one thing they also that we found out with the box art and everything is that when you buy this game, if you buy it physically, you can't even play it without when you're installing the game, you need the internet connection or you can't even play the game.
Yeah, I think that was true for Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, it was true for it was true for Hogwarts Legacy. It was true for Cyberpunk. It was it's a trend in games I'm hating for single player. Like I get it for multiplayer games, but for single player, this should be a trend that needs to keep going.
Yeah. Leah, your thoughts on the trailer and the story?
I mean, looks cool. I hope like it doesn't turn into the Han Solo show and we can get something separate. I feel like we delve too much into the storyline of Luke and Leia and all of that. If it's like the Mandalorian, it's just a little, you know, quick look and mention. That's great. I really hope we keep the story focus on this main character and the little buddy and all of that, and just be one off adventure.
So
I mean, for
watch before you go on. I'm just gonna
yeah,
say probably DLC. We're either gonna get a Boba Fett side mission or we're going to get Darth Maul in this game because
yeah. I mean,
he's at this time he's the head of the Crimson Dawn Syndicate. So
as a DLC, I think that's fine. But in the main game, I really want something that is a bit separate from the movie franchise, I guess. As
mhm.
for pricing, like, I'm not sure because I haven't really seen it being promoted here. I mean, it's still kind of brand new, but it'll probably be around these values, which is the the norm at this point. I don't think there's any game that is below 70 euros at this point.
Mhm.
So wait and see.
Carl, your thoughts?
Wait, doesn't Darth Maul get killed in Rebels timeline?
In Rebels timeline, yes.
Which would be before this, right?
No, it's after.
I thought Rebels was.
This is between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, wasn't Rebels like
After Return of Rebels was
I thought it was earlier. Because isn't
No,
that supposed to be Kira right there? People are saying that's supposed to be Kira from
Kira,
Solo.
yeah. That for in the Solo films.
So maybe she's the lead of Crimson Dawn.
Yeah,
But either way,
it could be. Who knows? Yeah.
I love this trailer. I like seeing that all these syndicate people, all these different alien races and groups that we've seen in other places, right?
Yeah.
In the cartoons and stuff, and even the shows. They showed up in like Boba Fett and those type of things. And I feel like they'll be handled better here.
Mhm.
And I feel like they're nailing the tone of this smuggler, this outlaw, right, type character.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to play in that world and play in that style, right, where you're not necessarily the good guy, right? You're just sort of like trying to get by.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the pricing stuff goes, I mean, I don't get the big deal. They're not the first game to do this. They won't be the last. If you don't like it, just buy the base game for $70. I guarantee you, you're not missing out on anything. All that stuff's gonna be garbage. It's always garbage. It's always a bunch of stupid skins or like some extra mission that's bad or just okay.
Okay, Carl, I've got information for you. Each season of Rebels is set at a different points in the Star Wars timeline. Season 1 starting 5 years before A New Hope.
Okay.
The Rebels epilogue takes place around 9 after the Battle of Yavin.
But when is that episode? When we see, we'll look at that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, like the pricing stuff. I mean, like I just don't see the deal. Like, don't buy it. Like, you want season pass?
Exactly. Don't buy it. Use Ubisoft Plus and save yourself some money.
Right, you could. I mean, I'm in the US. Like, if I want this game, and I do, it just depends on what else is coming out at that time. Like, I'll buy it for $70. You know, like, I don't care about DLC for the most part. I don't really play it, but if I wanted it that much, I'd buy the season pass, I guess. And maybe one of these editions would make sense for me if I cared that much. But I just don't. So I'm not gonna buy it, right? Like, whatever, because most of the time when I play these games, I'll buy it at launch. I play it at launch. By the time DLC comes out, I moved on. I'm just not going back.
Yeah, there's always those exploding spiders, you know. It's
Yeah.
There's always got to be exploding spiders in the game. Man.
Oh, yeah. I think it's interesting that they specifically put this out in this release date now before the Ubisoft Forward event, because that tells me that this game won't be a focus there. Like, you might see it, but I think that pretty much confirms that AC Red is going to be the big thing we see there.
Yeah, but then about a week before the event, the game's going to leak and everything's going to leak, and then of course,
well, something could leak for sure. Yeah, that does happen a lot.
Yeah. I'm probably counting on it to happen. Anyway, go ahead, Leah.
I was gonna say they only launched this because it leaked. Like, they didn't really have an option. So
that's not true, because they had
they said
ready. It's just the date leaked ahead of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, they had put it up to YouTube, but it went live early, and then they were like, okay, well, everyone's already seen it. Let's just keep the trailer live.
But like they announce that this trailer was coming, and then it leaked, right? I thought,
a day before the trailer was came out, they said, we're gonna leak it tomorrow or announce it tomorrow.
Oh boy, the intern messed up.
It's always annoying. I really hate how that stuff happens. But.
Well, they're told to put the videos up like this, where you can barely see through your fingers and do the upload clicks. But I think they'll still heavily push this at Forward, their Ubisoft Forward, but they're going to end and spend their last 20 minutes or whatever time. That's going to be AC Red is the main focus to make you last go. This is more of your opener or middle, because they might go with what is the other game that they're trying to get out this year? X Defiant.
Forgot about that thing.
Yeah, I think Assassin's Creed Red is going to be the big focus for that, because that's going to be the game that either comes out at the end of the year or first quarter of next year. So they're really going to be pushing that one. So,
and the day after that event, Ghost of Tsushima 2 trailer will mysteriously gone leaked early.
Yeah, I'm sure that's coming too. So
what about Beyond Good and Evil 2, guys?
Yeah.
That thing's dead.
It's coming out 10 years from now, and then in 5 years we will get back to you on it. So.
I just can't believe they haven't canceled it. Makes me think that I guess maybe it will happen. I mean, like Skull and Bones, they never canceled, then it came out. So
well, let us know in the comments what you think of the latest Star Wars Outlaws trailer. Are you going to be playing the game day one? What do you think of the story that they showed off? And what do you think of the additions and the pricing? Let us know in the comments. So now it's time to move on. Burley. Yes, Palworld. It seems like they're still trying to continue to copy in some way, shape, and form Pokemon in some ways, and now an arena. We're getting an arena version of Palworld now. So what's the situation there? Take it away.
So Palworld has teased us with an update, its own take on Pokemon Stadium, with small change that you bring guns and to PvP with your pals and a gladiatorial blood sport coming. So they've announced that they're doing their own version of like Pokemon Stadium, but a Coliseum where we can fight each other. It's the arena teaser that they've called it.
Yeah, it's like 15 seconds long, so I'm not going to throw that in there and show it. So you can see the image here. Yeah, so they're teasing that it's going to be a summer update with a new island with new pals. So it's just them showing you, hey, Palworld is not done. We know we're still early access and stuff. We have stuff planned this year, and it's coming. And it's like, this is cool, because that is one thing. Like, if you're playing this, you're not really going against other players when you're playing this online. Like, you're usually working together if you're going up on certain servers or you're your own hosted server and working together, gathering resources, capturing pals together, capturing humans. Because capturing humans is good in video games. It goes all the way back to the good old days, Burley, with the Defender. Yeah.
Yes.
Capturing humans. Yeah.
And,
So yeah,
yeah.
good stuff.
But this has me excited. I stopped playing Palworld little while ago. Not that I didn't like the game or anything. I put a lot of time, and I was just like, okay, I'm waiting for a little bit more and a few more features to be added for me to go back and really put some time into the game. I've seen from the updates logs, they're always adding small tweaks here. They're adding small things, so it's good to see. And hey, I'll definitely be checking this out in the summer. I'm just gonna have to prepare my pals before and get a lot of guns.
So my question is, what's Nintendo's next move on this? Will we see some kind of lawsuit information coming out anytime soon when it comes to this arena version?
They they can't do anything because like the thing is like Pokemon has had this, but you know what also had this that started this before Pokemon? Dragon Quest Monsters and stuff like this. So like they like, I'm sure Pokemon Company and Nintendo are not happy about this because it reminds them in the summertime they're gonna have this big focus on Palworld, and this is the year they're not releasing a Pokemon game, which it's been since like 2015 or 2016. It's the last time where we haven't had a game come out in the Pokemon series yearly. So it's like there's going to be more focus back on this, on the Palworld, and not as many people talking about Pokemon for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go sub forward and I will say the Romans did it first. I mean, Pokemon doesn't have the exclusivity on Colosseum where people fight until one of them is left.
Yeah.
I mean, it's surprising. I thought Palworld was like just that game and it was done. Really cool to see they're still going. People are still showing interest, and it looks really cool to me. It reminds me more of like Fortnite, Splatoon, almost like it's guns. You're shooting at each other. You're combating. So it is a bit different than Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. Sounds fun.
Yeah, well, they're doing this because it makes a ton of money. I mean, these battle arena type of things. I mean, it's going to sell, and especially when it comes to these types of characters, and being able to use weapons, and things like that. It sells. So, Carl, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's something that might do well. It's not really for me.
Yeah,
I don't really have any interest in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
on,
is a burly. This is a burly game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a burly game. No question on that. But like, come on, are you gonna give your daughter a choice later on in a couple of years? Be like, here's Palworld, here's Pokemon.
Yeah. Like I would give her Pokemon. I don't want to give her the game with the guns right away. So plus Pokemon's just better. I mean, for me, I mean, turn-based, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And if you're going turn, for you, yeah. I don't know with how the Palworld quality in early access has been beaten Pokemon's quality with full access.
Yeah.
I mean, I still say like Pokemon Red still slaps. I mean, even after God knows how many years, you still play it, and it's still a great experience. So
I'm just waiting for the next announcement for the next Pokemon game. I mean, it's
well, we had the teaser. It's a Legend ZA, and trust me, when that game we get more details, I know Expat's going to be like, here, you need to tell us everything. Get every bit of info.
Yeah, I mean, I'm predicting it'll probably come out, the holiday season. So yeah, we shall see. But yeah. All right. Speaking of another game that's selling well, and we're going to be talking about it during the topic of the show, I'm sure. But of course, Final Fantasy VII and Rebirth, and now the news about the third installment. Those that are directly in charge of the production have said that the story is finished. and that voice acting should start soon. So, Burley, what's going on with the third installment of Final Fantasy VII?
So yeah, of the third installment, Square has hopes to develop Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 in about 3 years. They were recently published their Ultimania book on Remake, which is being translated at the moment. And creative director Tetsuya Nomura has reportedly said that the third game's main story has already been completed, and that he thinks voice recording could start in the near future. Nomura said that Remake's producer Yoshiro Kitsa has raised the possibility of including something new and important in the game too, even though it did not feature in the original. Oh God. So yeah, they're saying like they've been quoted saying, by retaining much of the same team for the third game in the series 2, reportedly hopes to complete the final part of the trilogy similar time frame that would mean be targeting 2027 for the release, which
that would be
the 30th anniversary of the original Final Fantasy 7. So yeah, like the new stuff has me scared and questioning. Carl missed this, but like I was talking earlier about, I had finished Rebirth. Oh. And I enjoyed Rebirth, and I really did enjoy it. It has a lot of highs, but it's got a lot of lows. So people giving this 9s and 10s, I don't see it. Just on principle with some of the stuff that it's going, I think it's an 8 for me at best. Like the new stuff combat wise I like, but some of the new story stuff is really good, and then some of it is like, why did you do this?
We're so lucky that Fubu is not with us in this episode, because you could I'm sure wherever he is right now at work or whatever, he's listening and he's watching and he's cringing at what Burley just said about not being a 10. So.
Well, I know the comment section is going to light up from him on this, and I love you, Fubu. But you can, and I can talk on this later.
Yeah. But it's interesting that they say most of the same team. They've retained pretty much all of the development staff that's going to move over and work on this, and that doesn't happen very often where there's such a high retention rate. So I when it comes to employment and the gaming industry, I think that's a plus. So
yeah.
I
mean, 3 years, I vision Burley's worst nightmare, where there's going to be a fight and a scene, just setting the scene, and you're going to meet Sephiroth, and then some little black dots are coming on the ground, and oh, it's a Heartless, and you hear little Mickey laughing on the background, and
well, you got Nomura involved, so you know what? I wouldn't be surprised they do some Kingdom Hearts stuff with it. Now Cloud's going to get about 30 belts on him.
Yeah, we're going to get a new key to the universe. That would be great.
Does Cloud have a Keyblade option yet in this game?
Oh, it'll be paid DLC. Square would love to do that, and if they could get $5 out of every player to make you have the Keyblade as one of the weapons for Cloud.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
Yeah.
I just to say, I think this sucks and I hate it. It's kind of like Xenosaga, right? Like they're like episode 1, 2, and 3, and it was like years and years between those games. By the time the next part came out, I was like, what happened last time I played this? I don't remember. And then I just didn't care anymore. I didn't play the other ones. So like, I feel like that's happening here. You can see it in the sales. The first game sold, they said, around 3.5 million around near launch period. This game, they haven't announced anything, which is a bad sign. But there's some reports out there saying they think, based on player counts, it's somewhere like a little over 2 million around launch, which is like diminishing returns, And Final Fantasy 16 was about 3 million around launch. Like, you keep selling less and less on your Final Fantasy teams, like your big giant, IP. That's the biggest thing you have. And you're selling less. Like you're doing something wrong. Okay. And third part of this game is not going to sell better. Why would it sell better? It doesn't make any sense at this point.
So as you were mentioning, Carl, you feel that obviously when this comes out, it should be multi-platform. But then the question is, yes, it would help. But the question is whether or not Square Enix has already got a agreement to keep it only on PlayStation at the beginning, which I would have to say that there's probably a 90% chance that they've already got that in place.
Oh, Sony's holding them to a deal. There is no mincing words. They have a deal with Sony, and then they have a deal with Epic. Because remember when it came to PC, it came to Epic first for, I don't know if it was 6 months or a year, and then it came to Steam.
And that's bad too. Like, do you think they did that? Are you gonna do it again this time? I don't know.
It's gonna be the same with Rebirth, because I'm sure there were a thing where they did it for all three games to help. Here you go. We'll do this for all 3 games. So there we go. Here's some extra money to help fund your development cost for all 3.
Yeah. Do you think they did that for Final Fantasy 16 as well? Because we don't know.
I have a feeling.
Well, 16 Sony did a deal with them for exclusivity on console.
But PC is it going to be Epic also? Because we don't know. Maybe
that I don't know. It all depends. If Square did not like the deal that they had with Epic for 7 Remake, then it'll be coming both to Epic and Steam day one. If they like the deal, it'll be Epic first and then Steam.
I have a feeling that the first game that Square Enix finally decides to put everything multi-platform will be Final Fantasy 17. That'll probably be the first game that will probably go multi-platform. We shall see, but
I think that's when they'll go back. But there's new leadership over there. So I'd say if there wasn't a deal prior, then they would be smart to not do it again.
Yeah.
Right. But if there was, I get it. And that's how it's just going to play out,
Yeah. But I'd bet a case of spiritual opium, though, that there's a deal in place, probably. I'm sure there was probably a deal in place when they first decided, okay, we're going to make Final Fantasy 7 again. Okay, all 3 parts. Whatever the amount of parts that there are, it's going to be exclusive day one, to PlayStation. Because like Burley was saying, I'm PlayStation, it's and Square Enix. They've got their relationship. So
but I mean, like, talk about limiting your audience, right? I mean, come on, like, freaking. It's not even on PC at launch, and then when it came to PC, it was only on Epic. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Carl, but then in the Japanese market, the only audience is PlayStation and Nintendo. So,
but the Japanese market doesn't really matter, right? Because
it doesn't.
Not that big.
Well, it doesn't matter outside. Right? Well, it only matters inside, internally. So
because like if it was on Switch, then I'd be like, all right, sure, like. Switch. There's a huge amount of switches.
The Switch would go on fire trying to run this game.
Yeah.
But like the majority of sales on Final Fantasy 7 Remake is going to be in US and Europe and other countries. That's where it's going to be.
I would say PlayStation is also big in Europe. It's, I think, bigger than Xbox because we see them doing very big marketing. Yeah. They're starting a marketing strategy for Stellar Blade right now. Pretty cool. I like the video. This short. A bit off topic, but so for them, like that's a big game, like Final Fantasy, big name, big sounding name. Yeah. A couple weeks of marketing. So.
Oh, and you want to talk about bad pricing models? This is 3 $70 games to get the whole story.
Yeah. Oh, I said it earlier. I'll just relay it to Carl quick. This didn't need to be 3 parts. This game should have been the first part should have ended where part 2 ended. They didn't need to make Midgar 20 to 40 hours. Yeah. Like there should have been 2 games of max. It still could have been 1 game and been like a 60-hour RPG. Yeah. But they wanted to milk this for everything that it was worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if it comes out in 2027 for the 30th anniversary. Probably will. So
yeah, well, they're gonna for them to do it. They're gonna have to crunch like no tomorrow because you have a lot of content from where the end of Rebirth ends.
Yeah.
To get there, and especially with how they are like pretty much every screen in the original is like 15 to 20 minutes in these remakes, plus the added stuff they add and all the stuff because they skipped some small sections in Rebirth that I thought would have been there. So are they going to bring them back in this game, or are they just going to completely forget about them?
Yeah.
Where's
we
Vincent?
Shall see.
Seeing it?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Was Vincent in it?
Yes, Vincent and Sid are in it, but you don't control them. They don't add to the battles or anything, and you don't go to Rocket Town.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they cut that. Vincent, they do a thing just to make it story because Vincent, if you've played the original, even though he is a secret character, he actually does have some plot significance.
You're right, he does. Yeah.
I'm just praying that they do at the end of this, when they're doing this, they don't go, "Hey, remember Dirge of Cerberus? We should re-put that out again."
I mean, why not, right? Let's do a quick little remaster, pop that out.
No,
sure.
No, we don't need that.
Crisis Core, I think, sold fairly well, right? I don't remember actually if they said.
I don't believe they said the numbers, but I'm sure it sold well enough, but not. It wasn't, 5 million copies.
Right. I feel like because they didn't put like a huge budget into it, so they probably got a decent return. Plus, it was multi-platform.
Yeah.
All right. So that was our weekly news beat. So let's go ahead and jump to the topic of the show, guys. So the topic of the show this week is we're discussing the first quarter of this year. January, February, March, and our review of the first quarter of the year. And I'm going to throw some questions to my co-hosts here to discuss the first quarter. So let me go ahead and get the first question for you guys ready. So of course, we had some big games in the first quarter. Obviously, we were just talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Talking about that, we've of course Dragon's Dogma 2, Rise of the Ronin, the Princess Peach, of course, all of those games, some of the big games that came out. My first question for you guys, and I'll put it in the captions here, and please, all of you viewers and everything, chime in as well in the chat. So, which game releases from the first quarter of 2024 were the most impactful or surprising for you? Okay. So, Burley, I'll start with you. What do you think? Which game releases were the most impactful or surprising?
The surprising for me, I've got two, and they both released in the same month. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That was I did not expect that Metroidvania to be such a great game where I was like impressed, and every time I was playing the game it was a struggle to put the game down. I was having a lot of fun, and then with what they did with the whole Metroidvania scene and their all the different abilities and all the the abilities you get and all that, and just exploring this area, it was a lot of fun. The other one, Palworld, I was like, okay, Pokemon with guns. This is just gonna be. I'm gonna play this. I bought it. I'm thinking, okay, this will be an under 2 hour Steam return to me, and I was like, oh, fun! This is a lot of fun. Holy crap! I want these guys to develop Pokemon now. Give them Pokemon That I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be a really bad knockoff and one that you put very little time, and it was like, eh. I was like, oh man, I love this, and that I can do multiplayer with my friends and this and that. The online is better than Nintendo's own online that you pay for. It was like, wow.
Leah, your thoughts? Yeah. The first question.
Sure. For me, the most surprising was Silent Hill: The Short Message. I think that game came out of nowhere. No one was really expecting it, and I think to me it was really good. I really liked the game, and it gave me big hopes not only for the remake of Silent Hill 2, but also for the other projects they have in hand that we still don't really know what's coming. That we only had like a short clip, I guess. And the other one for me that was the most meaningful was another called Recollection. It's a remaster for the 3DS and Wii games, and I've waited 15 years to play the second game, and finally I have some closure in my life where I know how the story ends after so many years. So, first quarter, fantastic.
Nice. Carl, how about for you? Let me guess. Most impactful was Persona 3 Reload.
You got it.
Yeah,
man. I mean, because the game was just incredible, and the fact it was on Game Pass was so cool.
Yeah.
It's like exactly what I want in a remake.
Yeah,
they did everything I think right. And obviously, I didn't play the first game, the original, and completely. I don't know everything that's in it, but I know from what I've read that there's very little. Like, it's incredibly faithful to the original. Right? So
yeah, it is.
There's the extra stuff that's not in it. I know some people are upset about that, but like, again, that was basically DLC. So like, I don't begrudge them for releasing the game when it was finished and then working on the DLC after. And we got the game out earlier. So all right, I'm happy I got to play it. Fantastic game. Surprising, I would have to say Hell Divers 2.
Okay.
Oh.
I just never expected it to be that successful. I mean, I always thought it looked cool, right? I mean, it's not the type of game I'm going to play, but when I saw the trailers, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like a cool game.
It is so different from the first game too. I mean, it's like a completely different game. So
I was just about to ask that because I've only played 2, and 2 is a lot of fun.
Yeah, the first game is just an aerial view, basically. I mean, it's not third person at all. I mean,
it's like top down, right? Yeah.
Top down.
Yeah. To see the reaction to it, it's a zeitgeist moment, right? In gaming, like everyone's talking about it. People are still talking about it. People are still playing it in mass. It is still, if I look, number 3 in Steam player count of current players. Only behind Counter-Strike 2 and Dota 2. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
Top 3 are all 2 sequels.
Yeah. Right. So, like, we'll see how long it maintains that, but I think it seems like it does have legs.
Yeah, and it's really big in the Twitch community too, right, Burley? I mean, a lot of people are playing Helldivers and playing it together. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like I've streamed it a few times with one of our fellow patrons here, Fryman.
Yeah,
he and I have streamed it, and I know a lot of people that became that's the game they're gonna do on stream. It's just only Helldivers too, and they keep adding. Like, they just had the mech update. They're adding this and that. They're just constantly adding to the game. So it's just like, they're gonna keep with the momentum on this because they know, holy, we've got a good thing going. Let's just keep pumping content. And the nice thing is, they're not going, here you go, here's this content. You got to give us $10.99. It's free updates. Just hear this, that.
Okay, let's go to question 2 and maybe some similar answers to question 2 here, but the highs and the lows of the first quarter of this year. So what do you think were the biggest successes and failures in the video game industry during these months? So, Carl, I'll start with you with this one. What do you think?
Oh my God, man. Well, successes. I mean, I like to point out the games that I like, of course. So, like Persona 3 Reload, and I didn't play it yet, but Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Yeah.
Both of those games launching to like million plus. Was really great for those level of games. Like, very, very big success for those games.
Yeah.
And then Unicorn Overlord, which they said over 500K sold, which is also a very big success for that type of game.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to see. I mean, obviously, there's your Helldivers too. I keep saying Hellblade. Hellblade on the mind.
It's on your mind
Helldivers
because
2.
it's coming next month. Yeah. Excited for Hellblade 2. Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma 2 seems like a pretty good success. Although I don't know the budget on that. It's hard to say. Like, I want to say like failures. Princess Peach, honestly, like they haven't really said anything about how other teams sold that I've seen.
I don't know what you're talking about, Carl, because according to Genki, it's the thirdest best-selling game on the
Japan.
platform,
Huge.
above Drug.
In
it
Japan,
is
yes.
in Japan.
Yeah,
In
and you
Japan.
see how low those
Like,
numbers are?
It's
They're
not
not very
low.
high.
It's like
They're like,
200,000 or something. That's
okay,
impressive, I would say.
but how does that compare? Like, we don't know worldwide, right? But does that compare to 2 million sales? I mean, Unicorn Overlord sold 500,000. I mean, I have to assume Peach worldwide sold more, but how much is enough for that game to be? I mean, probably not that expensive. So it's probably successful.
Hating Peach. Stop hating Peach.
I'm
What did she do to you?
Did you buy it, Leah?
Not yet. I
Oh, well,
told
then
you
what
I'm going to buy it on my birthday. It's going to be my
Contributing to
birthday
the prize.
present. Inflation is high, okay, guys. People
Oh,
are poor nowadays.
And then I'll say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I mean, I don't think 2 million sales is good for a game that probably cost a hell of a lot of money. I mean, we don't know the budget, of course, as we don't usually know, but it had to be a lot. It's a very pretty AAA game, you know.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think selling less than 1 million copies less than Final Fantasy 16, which was probably more expensive, right? But like, and 1.5 million less at launch than in your previous game, Part 1, is a success, right?
Leah, biggest successes and failures?
I mean, successes like don't really come to mind, but thinking of the industry in itself. But I would say like there's an effort from Nintendo to kind of pick up the Nintendo Game Boy as an emulator for the Nintendo Switch. I would have to say it's been kind of rough in the industry with all the layoffs, closing studios. Like, the industry is kind of rough right now. It's not doing well. And yeah, but maybe hopefully things will pick up and will be better in the upcoming months. Yep.
Burley, successes, failures?
Well, the biggest successes, I would say, Palworld and Helldivers 2. So it's just like I said with Palworld, I did not expect it to be that good of a game, and it was selling. I think they passed like 10 million sales, which is quite really good, especially when the game is in early access still. Plus, then you've got like 1 million people playing through Game Pass, so it's like amazing there. Helldivers 2, we've already talked about. But for the biggest for failures, one we didn't talk about, Rise of the Ronin.
Oh wait, that's not what I was thinking.
Rise of the Ronin. It just came out and it just has like been like crickets. I hear barely anything on the game.
Well,
and that was
because everybody was thinking of Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, you know, it's like I said before. I mean, Rise of the Ronin, it's a different time period and all, but everybody's thinking of, you know, Ghost of Tsushima when it comes to that game. It's like, oh, this is just another Ghost of Tsushima. It's a next.
Yeah, I
kind of like Dragon's Dogma 2 kind of ate its lunch. Like that was the big game around that same date.
Yeah, it came out.
It was that and Peach, and I think Peach outsold Rise of the Ronin.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Well,
I hear more on Peach than I do Rise of the Ronin. Dragon's Dogma 2 was the biggest one of the three. That's the one you still hear stuff, and it's even of the three I bought.
Even here in Japan, I mean, on PlayStation, Helldivers 2 is big. A lot of people playing Helldivers 2 out here. So yeah, it's big. So
I think we forgot two of the biggest failures.
Okay.
Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oof.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just massive.
Oh, wait,
failure.
we all knew that was gonna fail.
Yeah.
To be honest, that you are
I
right.
mean, there's
Uh,
hope.
And then what's the name? Foam Stars.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I played it. It's not bad, but after buying and picking up Splatoon 3, it's like just play Splatoon. Splatoon is much better than Foam Star.
There was some story. I think it was.
Yeah, no, like Foam Stars is down to like 10% of its player base.
Their player count plummeted 94% in just 2 months.
That's.
I mean, that's definitely a failure.
Agreed.
Okay, guys. Last question. So, yeah, one more. Game of the year. If 2024 ended at the end of March, based on the games that were released, which would be named Game of the Year?
God, such a hard question.
Thank you, Carl. I think about these questions a lot before I make this show. So anyway.
I do have an answer. I've got mine figured out.
Go for it.
I'm going to go with Helldivers 2.
Wow.
Because it was a game that it improved on this being a sequel. It improved and just constantly just adding content, evolving, and it keeps jumping up the player count on Steam. It has been it's taken over Twitch, YouTube, all these streaming platforms. It's still very talked about on social media a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. But critically, it's around an 83, and I feel like that's not going to be nominated for Game of the Year. I mean, it's possible.
I'm checking real quick because there's so many games.
I know there's a lot.
Controversial opinion is not going to be Final Fantasy Rebirth for sure.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I was so disappointed playing that game. It just felt like homework. Just press X, 2 steps. Okay, there's 20 lines of text. How to do this God knows forsaken ability. Good job. Go ahead. I was not vibing with it for sure. You know what? Princess Peach Showtime just to piss off Carl's Game of the Year.
Thank you.
It's gonna be like that, and between Super Mario and Donkey Kong, and Nintendo's gonna win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Just go.
Those will be Family Game of the Year, right? They'll be in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think Peach is gonna win Family Game of the Year.
Yeah, I think
well,
so.
we haven't even got Paper Mario yet, so
yeah,
Paper Mario is going to be big also. So.
Luigi is also coming, so yeah, I think it's early to think like Game of the Year.
Yeah,
so,
of course, but I mean, like the question is if the year ended at the end of March with the games that we got, which would be Game of the Year. So I think with Helldivers Burley, I think Helldivers 2, that would probably be in like the competitive, section, like with games like
best multiplayer for sure.
Best multiplayer, maybe, something like that.
I think it's a high possibility of winning that, regardless of what comes out the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, I think your nominees, at this point in the year, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, even though. Yeah, there's mixed result. The reviews are just so high. I don't know why, but they are. That Balatro, like people love Balatro.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably ahead right now in this point of the year. Infinite Wealth, Persona 3 Reload, possibly. But then Dragon's Dogma 2, and I kind of think I would pick Dragon's Dogma 2 because while I know like it's not. Like it's got really good reviews, right? It doesn't have like the 90s, right? But it's doing something really interesting, right? Like I didn't play it, but from everything I've seen of it, something I've heard about it, it's that like weird sandboxy thing that like
similar reasons to Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, yeah, I mean it's got like sort of maybe it doesn't have that quite of a big, like draw. Like I don't know how many people are gonna be talking about it beyond now, but it's that game. I would say more similar to like um, Zelda, Tears of the
Tears of the
Kingdom,
Kingdom.
those type of games, where it's like this sort of playground, and there's all kinds of weird stuff that you can do and make happen, and it's also a fun game to play. Like people like the combat, right? And there's a lot of like weird things to discover. So like I think that plays well for a lot of voters and Game of the Year stuff. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You guys feel like Rebirth over Final Fantasy 16? It's coming. Is it a DLC that's coming up?
Yeah, the DLC is
it-
coming,
DLC.
but yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah, there is a DLC, and we'll be talking about that in the future. But if you had to ask me, I would rather play 16 over Rebirth again.
I've heard that kind of from other people.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Burley, did we get to you on this question? You said Helldivers too, right?
Yeah. I said Helldivers too.
All right.
I think just with how the reaction, because I don't think anyone expected that game coming out as well as it did and taking it by storm.
Yeah.
Like if out of all the games that came out so far and like the games that I've played this year, it's the one that I would say has the best chance. I'm not throwing Palworld because Palworld's early access, and it kind of feels wrong to put that as Game of the Year.
Would that be more considered a family game?
I wouldn't put Palworld as a family game with some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Here, my son and daughter. Here's how you capture humans in a little ball and make them your slave.
Well, that's perfect for out in the West, out in North America. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect family game.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That is very twisted.
I want to.
It's pretty much the truth, though, unfortunately. But yeah,
the speaking of Game of the Year stuff, you saw that story about Baldur's Gate 3 is like the only game to win all of the major Game of the Year awards with the BAFTAs that just happened.
Yeah,
very cool. I just love to hear it.
Oh yeah, it's just on a roll. Yeah. So, but then again, well, why not make Baldur's Gate 4? Well, because we're sitting on the beach and we're thinking about other ideas now. So, but maybe they'll change their mind now. Yeah. Who knows?
I have a feeling that whoever has the ability to will make Baldur's Gate 4.
Yeah.
Like they'll have another dev do it.
Yeah, they'll throw it to another dev. The other devs will throw them a ton of boatload of money or whatever, and they'll say, "Okay, take it." Yeah.
Unfortunately, I doubt they'll be able to recreate that.
No, probably not.
No, that was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's good stuff. Yeah. So how would you guys rate the first quarter of this year to the first quarter of last year?
I gotta go back and look now.
Oh my god!
Just generally, I mean, do you think that this year is better or worse?
I don't know. I feel like they're least releases. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember exactly what came the first 3 months of last year.
Okay,
I know the
game releases. Okay, we had, not sure if it counts, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, Kakarot, Space for the Unbound, Persona 4 Golden, Fire Emblem Engage.
Yeah, Engage.
This is just January. Hi-Fi Rush. Pizza Tower.
That was
Dead Space.
Dead Space.
Hi-Fi Rush. That was the big surprise. That was a big one. Yeah, for sure.
Mega Man X. Let me see more. Hogwarts Legacy came out last year in the beginning. Returnal came out again. Wild Hearts, Atomic Hearts, Horizon Call of the Mountain.
The VR, VR title.
Yes, the VR came out. Yeah. Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Octopath Traveler 2.
Yeah. Now,
Outlanders.
Kirby was so good.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, which I think is a valuable source. So that was like, and then in March, there's Bayonetta Origins, Mighty Doom, Kuni 2, Chia.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to Resident Evil 4 remake came out in March.
Yeah.
Sifu.
I see Metro Prime
The Last of Us
Remastered.
Part 1 came out.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did that stealth thing of here you go, Metroid Prime remastered.
Yeah.
Stop asking us for Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that was. Upon hearing all this, I'm gonna say this year was better, but it is a close thing because there were games great in different genres for both years.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's definitely a great year to start. There's a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, and second quarter, is looking really good. So we're looking forward to bringing that to you. So so that was our topic of the show, our review of the first quarter of 2024. So now it's time to move on and talk about our new game release picks of the week. So our picks of the week from releases.com for the week of, let's see, we're into the middle of April now, April 15th through the 21st. So, yes. So new game release picks of the year. You can go to releases.com and check out the picks and check out all the games that are releasing for the month of April and beyond. So releases.com. So I think you are first, Leah, for this week's picks of the week. So what do you got for us?
Okay, my game is Planet of Lana. Once a world of perfect harmony where humans, nature, and animals coexisted peacefully, this planet has transformed into something unrecognizable. The discord that simmered for centuries has manifested as a faceless army, altering the landscape forever. Yet, this narrative isn't one of conflict, it's about a lush, magnificent world and the relentless quest to preserve its beauty and balance. So it's an indie game, an action-adventure game. It comes out on PlayStation 4, PS5, and Switch in 2 days on April 16.
And it was on Game Pass day one for Xbox.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it just seems like a really beautiful game. Good platformer. You move around, puzzles. Seems very peaceful. It reminds me a bit of, not Journey, but the Lost Guardian or the Last Guardian.
Last Guardian.
So it has a bit of that feel, a bit of platformer. It just seems fun. It's a really cool game.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I thought it was pretty cool. I just didn't stick with it, but I'd say you should try it.
Yeah, there was so much coming out at that time for sure. Yeah. All righty. So next up, I am up. You guys remember Waterworld, right? That terrible Kevin Costner film? Well, anyway, Age of Water. Embark on a post-apocalyptic nautical adventure as a sea captain in a world where Earth is entirely submerged in water. Navigate an expensive open world, braving storms, engaging in combat, trading, seizing or constructing boats, and mining resources from the ocean floor to uncover the mysteries of the Age of Water. In this world, a once glorious civilization now lies beneath the waves, yet humanity endures and adapts. So it's coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X on April 18th.
That looks cool.
Oh, yeah. Fun stuff.
Is it better than the Skull and Bones?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and better than Waterworld. Better than the movie Waterworld for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Waterworld is insane. It's something else.
I was a kid, and I kind of liked it, but what did I know back then?
Good stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, looks interesting.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, and it's multi-platform, so you can give it a try. I would imagine this will probably come to Game Pass on Xbox at some point in the future as well. So Age of Water, nice.
Feels like that type of game they go for.
Yeah. Three Whale Studio. Yeah. Okay, Burley, you're up next. What do you got for us?
Mine is Final Fantasy 16, the second DLC, The Rising Tide. The Rising Tide will bring new challenges and more, including the confrontation between Clive and the legendary icon Leviathan, coming to PS5 April 18th, Thursday of next week. This I'm really looking forward to. I really loved the first DLC. Was really, really short. It was only like 2.5, 3 hours. This one's supposed to be a lot more. And they took this out. This was originally going to be in the main game, but they took it out for time and just to help the story flow a little bit better. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to be. And I'm be happy to go back to 16 especially after playing Rebirth. I really want to go back to 16 and just play the combat.
Fubu, you listening?
Oh, I know I'm going to get killed on this from Fubu. I already know that, but...
Interesting. So the Rising Tide. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
There's a tide. Like, are they near the ocean or something, Burley? Yeah.
Well, Leviathan is the water summon in Final Fantasy,
so that's
and a lot of it, some of its abilities are is like something tide is one of them. I know, like tsunami and some. Yeah, it depends on game. So yeah.
What are they charging for this?
I think both DLCs here in Canada were $29.
Okay.
Yeah, when I bought it, so US it was like $24.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it all depends. Like the first DLC, if you like 16, I can easily recommend the first DLC. If you didn't like it 16, then the DLC is not worth it. This is supposed to be quite a bit bigger than the first one, so I'm really looking forward to see how long this is and how much content and what kind of content we're fully getting in.
Yeah. All right. Actually, Burley, can you do me a favor and send a quick message to Carl about the end of the show? Can you do that for me while I do this?
Yeah.
About the microphone situation. So, thanks, man. Okay, Carl, you are up next. What do you have for us?
All right, bear with me. My voice has been rough. This is a long one to read. Okay. No Rest for the Wicked. Coming on April 18th. PC only, early access right now. Later will come to PS5 and Series X. No Rest for the Wicked, developed by the acclaimed Moon Studios, known for the award-winning titles Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, is an action-packed, precision-driven action RPG poised to revolutionize the genre. Narrative is set in the year 841, a tumultuous period marked by the death of King Harald. His demise sends ripples throughout the kingdom, with the throne being inherited by his brash and inexperienced son, Magnus. Amidst this political turmoil, a greater threat emerges, the pestilence, a devastating plague unseen for a millennium. It ravages the land, leaves corruption and decay in its wake. In this dire context, Madrigal Celine, an ambitious and unyielding figure within the church, receives the pestilence as an opportunity to demonstrate her devotion and prowess to her deity. And there you go.
Yep. Creators of Ori. Yeah.
Yeah, this is their next
kind
game.
of Game of Thrones sort of vibe, right? There's a kingdom, and then there's the illness kind of going around. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. All right. So those are our new game releases. You could go to releases.com to check out all of the games that are releasing for the month of April and beyond. So releases.com. So for all of you audio listeners, www.releases.com. You can go check out all the new game releases. So good stuff. All righty. Okay, next up, PS Plus, Burley. Extra and premium this month. What are we getting, man?
So
Fill us in.
Alrighty. So for the extra tier, we're getting Animal Well on PS5. It's a Metroidvania with over 250 rooms.
Oh my goodness.
And but don't worry, Carl. Rely on your wits to avoid danger in this combat-free Metroidvania.
How does that work?
Yeah, I'm very interested. The game doesn't launch for a bit, but it's launching into the server. Tales. Yep. Tales of Kinzaria Zhao, PS5. Yeah, it's coming on April 23rd. It's launching into the service. That's a rare thing for PS Plus. Embark on a poignant single-player story shaped by actor Abu Bakara Salim, own experience with grief and discovering how love gives us the courage to press on after a devastating loss. Wield powers from the sun and moon to defeat restless spirits in rhythmic combat and become worthy Naga, a spiritual hero. So it's a 2.5D game. This one I'm very interested to try, and I'm kind of glad it is in the service. So it's, hey, I don't have to pay for this. I can pay. I'm already paying for the service. I can play it. Dave the Diver, coming PS4 and PS5. That comes out on April 15th. So that is a game I've been waiting to play and try. So it's nice that, hey, it's on the service. I can try it. Oddballers, coming to PS4. It's a dodgeball arena multiplayer game. So definitely up Carl's alley.
Nah. Yeah.
Construction simulator for PS4 and PS5. So want to work on a construction site and not have danger? Play Construction Simulator.
I mean, it's every millennial's dream. You can finally afford to build a house, so I say give it a go.
Don't remind me. The Crew 2. So the sequel to The Crew, your racing game. That's out on April 15th. Raja and Ancient Epic.
I remember that game.
Yeah. This is a game I remember seeing, so it'll be nice to see. You're battling demons and all this, solving puzzles.
I tried that on Game Pass.
How was it?
I thought it was pretty interesting. It's almost like a sort of top-down-ish, like God of War type game.
Okay. All right. And then Lego Ninjago movie video game. So that's coming for PS4. So another great little Lego game.
Cool.
And then Noir, play it with your food. So it's experiment food art game. So definitely do not play this game if you're hungry. Because you're just going to get hungry. Deliver Us Mars for PS4 and PS5. It's the sequel to Deliver Us the Moon. And then we also have Lego's Marvel's Avengers. Great little game. That I think it's over the first two Avengers films, if I'm not mistaken. Miyasa Chronicles for PS5.
I wanted to try that one.
Yeah, I was going to say this one actually is up Carl's alley. This is tactical, turn-based with RPG elements. So, post-apocalyptic wasteland. So, yeah, definitely something I'll check out. Stray Blade for PS5. So, this is your more like... I think this is more like your kind of like action RPG, if I'm not mistaken. And then for what we got for the premium tier, Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, the original PlayStation version for PS4 and PS5, Star Wars Rebel Assault 2, The Hidden Empire, PS4, PS5, and Medieval, PS1 version of Medieval, PS1 Classic for PS4 and PS5.
Nice.
So I know our other co-host Fubu was not very happy with this drop, but overall I think it's not a bad drop. You've got a variety. Yeah, like on the premium side, there's not a lot of extra for the premium side that really is enticing.
Terrible, man. Always terrible.
Yeah. They've had some good ones. When Stray came on there, that was great.
Stray was not premium though, right?
No, it was.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Because that
It wasn't like special for premium. That was just.
I'm pretty sure it was premium.
A premium
Launched in a
zone. It was no. It was in extra.
I can't remember fully, but
I think this is. I would say this is a good month. This is what I like to see in Game Pass. These like indies that really good indies or interesting indies launching into the service. Like Tales of Kinzaro, which was a late edition, but like that's cool. Get that in there. The Animal Well. I was watching a video. It actually looks pretty interesting. There are dangers. Okay, so maybe you can't fight them directly, but you got to avoid them. You got to like manipulate the environment to get around them. And Dave the Diver is like
dangerous.
Yeah, right. Dave the Diver is a critically acclaimed game. So like, what's the complaint, man?
Speaking of Game Pass, Carl, it looks like when Xbox does their event in June, they're going to be announcing most likely the first wave of the Call of Duty games that are coming into the Game Pass service. So
I would expect it, yeah. If not before that, who knows?
Yeah,
because there's a story out there that they might announce the next Call of Duty game before that event, but then it'll probably still be at that event. So maybe they'll announce something before.
Yeah.
There was also a leak that they added Spyro Reignited Trilogy to the Windows Store, Xbox Windows Store.
Yeah.
Which is a good indicator that that's coming to Game Pass because it needs to be on there to be on PC Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
All right. So it's time to move on to our programming notes. So, of course, here on the Arena Productions, we are not only a video game related site, we also are an entertainment content and pop culture related site. So, and please check out our website too, thearenaproductions.com. You can check out our forum. Our forum is getting active. Leah is also putting stories in there as well now. So, please check out our website at thearenaproductions.com. But anyway, here on the YouTube channel, The Arena Productions, we also do entertainment, pop culture related content. And our first programming note is from Shogun, of course. So we did, of course, I did the episode 8 breakdown of Shogun. So please go and check that out. It's pretty good. The series is winding down. We got 2 more episodes left. So we're really excited for that. Aaliyah, I know you're watching Shogun as well. So have you been able to catch up?
Yeah. I'm a bit behind, but like I'm 2 episodes behind. So maybe I'll catch up this week and see how it goes because we're really going down into the finish line.
Yes.
Wrapping up to prepare for the Shogunate. We'll see. Well, can he make it? Can he be the next Shogun? We'll see. We'll see.
I hate this because I know all of this stuff. I know what happens. So in a historical context, but I can't say it. I don't want to spoil it for everybody. So. So please go and check out my breakdown of Shogun episode 8, and of course episode 9 drops on Tuesday. So sometime on Tuesday, early Wednesday, I will have the episode 9 review up. So please check that out. Next up, on the Star Wars side of things, Season 3, Episode 12 of The Bad Batch, Juggernaut. My breakdown of that episode, and this as well is coming to its end. We have just a few more episodes left in the series for The Bad Batch. So, check it out. What's going on with Omega? Yeah, is she in peril? We shall find out. So, is she Force sensitive? We shall find out. So, So, Star Wars Project Necromancer. We get more information on that as well. So, please check it out. So, my breakdown of Season 3, Episode 12. And on the Marvel side, this one's doing really well, Burley. So X-Men 97, our latest episode that Burley and I did, Mutants versus Sentinels. So yes, yeah. So the latest episode of X-Men '97. So Burley, pretty cool episode, eh? Yeah, it's good
Oh
stuff.
yeah, no. Oh, it was a great episode. I cannot like this show. Like all 5 episodes that have come out so far, just been great. I hate that it's weekly because I want to watch episode 6 and see where this goes from where 5 ended.
Burley,
I want
Burley.
it now.
I'm glad it's weekly because I'm doing these. I'm doing it. I'm creating these breakdown and review episodes for the channel. So yeah, it's a lot of work to do. So and this one is doing really well so far. So I'm really happy with it. So
yeah, that episode was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah.
Are we going to go to Life Death Part 2 next, or where are they going from here?
I don't know. I was going to say, yeah, at least they didn't split this episode up into 2 different stories. Yeah. So yeah. Good stuff. All right. And then on the Star Trek side of things, Star Trek Discovery, our Janal recap and review. So episode 3 of Star Trek Discovery, season 5, the final season. So we get another reference to Picard in this episode as well. So please go and check out my recap and review of Discovery season 5, episode 3. So this one was kind of the first 2 episodes were really action packed, and this one's kind of, more character driven in a sense. So it's kind of a slower pace episode, but yeah, please go and check it out. So, and of course, finally, but not least, my episode 1 breakdown of Fallout. So what I'm trying to do is to get 1 episode a week done for the recaps and reviews. So I know that Amazon Prime dropped the entire series, and I'm sure everybody has binge watched the entire series already. But I want to do a 1-by-1 episode a week review of each episode. So the episode 1 breakdown is up on the Arena Productions now. You can check out that. And yeah, I mean, I like what I see of it so far. Vault 33. Yeah. So yeah.
It is violent, but
yes,
it is necessary for the tone of the world, right?
Yeah.
I watched 2 episodes, and it's maybe premature to say, but this is probably going to be my favorite live action video game adaptation. I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
Better than The Last of Us?
Yeah, because The Last of Us is just no surprise. I don't know what's going to happen in this, and it's really good. Whereas Last of Us, I know exactly what's going to happen, and so okay, it's also really good. But I know exactly what's going to happen. And anytime they did something new and different, they added, I didn't really think it was great. I mean, at least the thing that little side story they did in the town, I was like, what is this? It was. I want something original that I don't know, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Burley, your thoughts on Fallout so far? Because
I'm loving it, and it's made me get, like I said earlier in the show, it made me go back and I reinstalled Fallout 4 on my PS5. I've been playing it on the Portal a little bit this weekend so far. I'm halfway through the show. I've finished the first 4 episodes, and I actually can agree with Carl. I think this is better than The Last of Us. This had a harder time. This has a harder time because Last of Us, it was 1-to-1 pretty much adaptation. This, they take bits from different Fallout games but the overall lore of the series, and this is something you don't have to know anything about the games. You can sit and watch and enjoy the show. If you know the games, you've played games or know stuff about the lore, they have tons of Easter eggs and stuff, and you're like, hold on, is that this? Is that? There's tons of just stuff. This really shows they use the budget correctly on this. Things look just like they do in the game.
I get excited when I see a stim pack. I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Looks exactly like the game. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they do the stuff about the I can't say, but they will talk about the radiation and stuff as you go through some of the episodes and all the stuff. If you've played some of the Fallout games, and especially if you've played the survival modes on those, they put stuff in from that.
I mean, yeah, she's using the Pit Boy for things, I love that. That's awesome. Just the intro, like the first few minutes, they kind of do a similar thing to like, what was it? Where you like build your character, right? And you do like your stats.
Yeah.
Like she's like tells you what she's trained in.
The special.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like that. Like she tells you what she's good at when she's trained, and it's presented in a way that's interesting and makes sense for the story, but also ties into like how you would make a character, right? So yeah, you're doing an excellent job. Excellent.
Other upcoming content here on the Arena Productions. We're still working on getting out the Dune Part 2 discussion. We'll be doing that in the near future. So, and when it comes to Star Trek as well, Carl, I know you posted it in the Discord that, of course, Star Trek Strange New World Season 4 has been greenlit, but Lower Decks, the 5th season, will be the final season for Lower Decks, which is coming in the fall. So, yeah, but I think
okay.
I think one of the reasons is one of the new series that's coming is Starfleet Academy, which is going to be based in the timeline of Discovery, like the 32nd century. And Tawny Newsome is a writer on that, who is the voice of Mariner. Yeah, but we shall see. But I think kind of like when it comes to Prodigy, who knows? Lower Decks could be picked up by another network or another streaming service and greenlit, possibly in the future. We shall see. But Jack Quaid, he's already said, I would love to do 17 more seasons of Lower Decks.
I have to wonder, like, what's behind it. Like, is it not successful enough? I don't know. Like, it seems beloved, right? But is there something else? Like the writers, like maybe they're doing something else, or they don't want to for some reason.
Well, like I said, Tawny Newsome, she's working on Starfleet Academy now as a writer, and they could always bring those characters back again, like in the last season of Strange New Worlds. They had the crossover episode, so they might even do a live action, type of parody series for Lower Decks, or they could make a completely new animated series where Mariner and Boimler and those crew members go off and join another ship or do something else. So, I'm sure they have some, ideas about what to do in that. So, yeah, we shall see. But excited for all the content here on the Arena Productions moving forward. So it's good stuff. All righty. So next up, game. What, Carl?
I looked up X-Men, and next episode is Life Death Part 2.
Okay. All right.
So at least that's probably all it is. So
yeah. So hopefully, just that one, a 1 part 2 story. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. All right. Next up, the games that we will be playing this upcoming week. So Burley, what are you going to be playing or streaming next week?
Well, streaming wise, I'm mainly streaming. I just started up Pokemon X, doing a Nuzlocke challenge run on that. But I will also be streaming the Final Fantasy 16 DLC once it comes out. But I'll be on my off time, probably be playing more Fallout 4. Put Dragon's Dogma 2 down for a little bit, just because since I'm in a Fallout mood with the show.
Nice. Leah, what will you be playing or streaming this next week?
Well, I found a game that is called Doronko Wanko, which is free on Steam, and you are a Pomeranian dog, and your owner leaves the house, and you destroy it. Nah. And that's it. And the most damage you can do, the better. And that's the game. And I was really curious, so I kind of want to check it out. I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay.
That reminds me of that game, Cat Lateral Damage.
Yeah, I think it's like that.
Yeah. Carl, how about you? What are you going to be playing?
Well, I wasn't here in the beginning, so I did play more Unicorn Overlord.
Okay.
Yes.
So I got some time into it. I'm still really enjoying it. I'm sort of like not doing the main quest for some reason. I don't know, like I feel like I don't want to get involved, and then I don't want to miss things. So I'm like doing all the side stuff, trying to like fill out the map. But like I'm at a point in the story where there's 2 places I can go. Like the main quest has two options of what I should do first, and they both take you to different areas of the map. So I'm a little paralyzed by the choice. I don't want to have to make it, but I'm gonna, of course. So I'll keep playing that. And what else I want to say? That I did watch Invincible season 2, second half. I don't know. Did any of you watch that?
I have yet to watch Invincible. I've been told I should watch it. I just haven't committed the time.
Oh my god, it's so good. You must watch it. It's like it is.
What's the platform?
It's on Amazon.
Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
superhero thing.
Carl,
hard.
like I said to Burley and to Leah, before we started the show, Tokyo Vice, you got to watch that.
I've heard good things about that. Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, and Jake Edelstein, out here when he was in Japan as a reporter for the Yomiuri newspaper, some really interesting stories, Yakuza related stories, and the stories that are in Tokyo Vice are true stories. So. Yeah, I mean the newspaper, name is different in the show, and especially the names of the people involved. But it's based on actual events that happened in the mid '90s in Japan, and of course that was the time when I first came out here to Japan. So I highly recommend that series.
and you got into all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, I did definitely. So yeah. I mean, well, Jake, being out here and, risking his life to infiltrate the Yakuza and to write the stories, which the newspapers were reluctant to do because of the retaliation and things.
I'm a bit on Burley's boat because I think it's also not here in Portugal. I can't find it.
Yeah.
So
What?
no Tokyo Vice for me as well.
Oh, Tokyo Vice.
Yeah.
Well, Tokyo Vice is on HBO
On HBO,
Max.
yeah.
Yeah, HBO Max.
HBO.
But the first season is on Netflix. But
Oh my god!
not in Canada. What Burley was saying on the US side, it is on Netflix. But
I'll check HBO in the meantime. Maybe I can find it. But
yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah,
that show's done, right? I don't think they're doing more, right?
No, well, there's a pitch for a third season where they would go into some of the different cases and stories that he covered, but the first 2 seasons probably that will be it, but because it covers the main story that he covered when he first got to the newspaper, so it was a big story. So good stuff.
No,
all right,
Burley, just watch episode 1 of Invincible, okay? Please, just do that for me.
I'll do it.
Because the end of that episode will have your jaw on the floor. Okay.
Well, he's got to watch Tokyo Vice first, and then he can watch that.
Yeah, in Portugal, it's also on HBO. Tokyo Vice. I found it. Ansel Elgort is the main character who plays the journalist.
Okay.
Yeah, and Watanabe Ken, he is the detective that works alongside him on certain things, and Kikuchi Rinko, she is the boss, or his Jake's boss at the newspaper. So yeah, it's a really good cast. So really good stuff. So great stuff.
Mr. Last Samurai.
All right. Yeah, among other things. Yeah. All right, so it's time to end the show with our indie recording artist spotlight. So each and every episode, we end with an indie recording artist and their music with an outro. So this week's spotlight is on Fast Sounds. So Fast Sounds is an Indonesia-based composer with a significant electronic influence in his production. He spent his teenage years listening to old trance music and later became an electronic music producer. So with experience producing albums with artists and DJs, focusing on producing his own music library for the last 3 years, his music has been featured in commercials and other media by major brands around the world. From his album titled Sunshine Waves, and the song is called Night Waves. So this has been the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, episode 170. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burlerman Gaming, Turn-Based Carl, and Leah the Hatless. And we want to thank all of you that came and watched us live. And of course, this episode will be in video on demand here on the YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. So please be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell if you're watching on YouTube for when we drop another episode of the podcast, as well as all of our other content here on The Arena Productions. And thank you so much, and we hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone, and have a great week of gaming. Peace out.